Yo, what is going on, Xbox and YouTube? Now, today I'm here to talk about the Xbox Live and the Xbox One and the Microsoft status of the entire thing, and basically my views on how the Xbox One has done since its release and how next-gen consoles have been doing since their release. But overall, I can tell you guys that I am very disappointed with the overall quality and build manufacturing standards for both of these consoles. It almost seems like nothing has been taken into account, almost like the systems were rushed. Well, we all already kind of have came to that agreement unanimously as YouTubers that both the Xbox One and the PS4 were rushed consoles. That is why Sony and PlayStation 4 are considering coming out. Well, they're not considering anymore. They will be coming out with a brand new PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One remains to be at its single status quo that it used from the very beginning. Now, there are brand new things such as USB 3.0 GPUs that could be used within the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. So the ball is still really up in the air on where Xbox One and Microsoft and Sony and the PlayStation 4 are going to go with this idea. But I really wanted to touch upon my own idea for an Xbox One console, seeing as though that I am an Xbox One type of person. I've been playing Xbox Live since the original Xbox days with Halo 2 and Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow Six Black Arrow, and we had the original Call of Duties on the Xbox One. My idea for a console was always to make them much more PC based. Now, what I mean by that is not by making the consoles much more confusing and allowing keyboard and mouse to be used on the console. I do not agree with that 100%. I believe that a console should be a controller-based world only, mainly because the way that a game plays with a keyboard and mouse can sometimes, or usually most of the time when it comes to first-person shooters, vary drastically between the two. It is a lot easier to click with a mouse on somebody's head than it is to aim with a controller. Therefore, there's almost a natural advantage between keyboard and mouse. Now, keyboard and mouse, they have a better pinpoint precision accuracy, while the controller-based, community has a better maneuverability. But that doesn't always ring true depending on what game you're playing. But my idea for a brand new console was to make it somewhat like a Steam box, somewhat like a home PC. And what I mean by that is, alright, we have the standalone Xbox One. It comes with the standard x86 architecture with the CPU and 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and then we have the ESRAM in there, and that's all a static thing. The hardware never changes, while hardware around it in the PC world, and actually right now in the PS4 world, is constantly upgrading. So my idea for a console was to come out with a baseline console. So you come out with the Xbox One, and you have just the Xbox One. Now, the Xbox One is not a static console, therefore it means that you should be able to upgrade it. You should be able to upgrade the hardware, such as the hard drive, the graphics card, the CPU. Now, I understand that this would create a lot of havoc and craziness for the developers of games, seeing as though that they would have to make 3 different versions or so of the game, sort of the way that PC developers have to develop for almost each and every scenario within their game. So depending on what type of graphics card you're using, they have to create a patch for your graphics card so they can utilize the best of what your PC has to offer. Now, instead of doing that for consoles, because we all know how crazy that can get and the crazy amount of, different ways you can set your PC up, what if we made baselines? Like we had the original Xbox, we had the Xbox One Elite, and then we had the Xbox One Professional. Now, like I said, none of these consoles are static, but you can buy them. pre-upgraded. So the Xbox One Pro would be the pre-upgraded version with all of the latest bells and whistles. Although that does not mean that the original version of the Xbox One cannot play the games as well. It might be able to play the games at, let's say, a lower resolution or a lower frame rate or less detail or less madness like they did with the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, less of a player base on online game types. But what I'm trying to say is they should make a very easily upgradable console where if I want to upgrade my GPU, I can go and just picture this for a minute, guys. If I want to buy a brand new GPU for my Xbox One, I can go to the store and buy a Microsoft branded Xbox One GPU that does not plug in the standard way that a GPU would plug into your normal computer, but instead uses some form of a proprietary jack that makes it 10 times easier for the normal person that has no idea what they are doing with a PC, or somebody that is really afraid of breaking something. They could make it almost impossible to break, just like Kinects, just like a Lego set. So it would be just as easy to upgrade your console, and everybody would be able to do this, and they would all be standards. So you have 3 different versions of one console, but the versions get progressively better within resolutions or either frame rate or even both. And in my opinion, that is the best way to make a console last longer than 10 years. As you guys know, the Xbox 360 was literally running on like its last leg when they finally came out with the Xbox One. Same with the PlayStation 3. So we all know that in order for the console world to survive, we're going to need to have a console that is not static with its hardware, a console that allows us to upgrade it over time. But unlike a PC, we need to have a console that has very specific guidelines and restrictions, and certain things have to be just right. There is no just bringing out a brand new piece of hardware just because you want to. There is strategic and select moves for bringing out certain hardware, and the hardware has to make sense in every aspect. But with that being said, guys, I really do believe that upgraded versions of every console will be in our future. I would love for you guys to share your opinions on what you guys think is going on with the console industry. But I will tell you guys, once I heard that PlayStation was making a PlayStation 0.5 or 0.4 or whatever you want to call it, I almost saw it coming. I came out with this idea several months ago, so I just figured I would put it on record of my idea. Now, once again, the idea is to create an Xbox One or a console that has baseline upgrades, so the console is not static. The console is able to be upgraded, but not in just any way, but in incremental ways in which the first-party controller of the console can decide. So please let me know what you guys think of my idea. This is DKRecords signing off. If I've opened your perspective just a little bit on my idea for the brand new way that consoles should work, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.